In a quiet Texas town, Regretting You tells the story of two women, a mother and her daughter, bound by love, divided by secrets, and forever changed by betrayal. It's a story about growing up, about mistakes that echo through generations, and about the painful truth that sometimes the people you love most can break you the hardest. Morgan Grant's life began too soon. At 17, she found herself pregnant, and the future she dreamed of disappeared overnight. She married her high school sweetheart, Chris, and raised their daughter Clara, believing she was doing the right thing. But as the years passed, Morgan realized she wasn't living her own life anymore. She was living the safe, predictable version that others expected of her. Morgan's sister Jenny is her best friend, bright, warm, and full of life. She's also married to Jonah, Chris's longtime friend. The four of them share a close bond that feels like family. But under the surface, there are cracks no one sees. Morgan senses something distant in Chris, late nights, secretive texts, but she pushes the doubts away. After all, this is her husband, her family. Meanwhile, 16-year-old Clara is growing into her own person, bold, emotional, and tired of being compared to her mother. She dreams of adventure, of first love, of freedom, and she's falling for Miller, a quiet boy with dreams of becoming a filmmaker. Everything feels ordinary until one devastating day changes everything. Chris tells Morgan he's going to visit Jonah. Jenny says she's heading out to run errands. But hours later, there's a phone call, a car accident. Chris and Jenny are both dead. Grief hits like a hurricane. Jonah is shattered, and Morgan's world collapses. But then, a discovery changes grief into something darker, rage. Chris's phone buzzes. A text from Jenny. Morgan opens it. And what she finds confirms the unthinkable. Her husband and her sister were having an affair. Every happy memory, every moment of trust suddenly feels poisoned. Morgan can't tell Clara. How could she? How do you tell your daughter that her father betrayed you and that the aunt she adored was the other woman? So Morgan does what she's always done. She swallows her pain and hides it. But her silence only pushes Clara further away. Clara doesn't understand why her mom suddenly treats Jonah coldly, or why she forbids her from seeing Miller. To Clara, her mom just seems cruel, controlling, heartless. Jonah, meanwhile, is drowning in his own sorrow and guilt, because he knew about the affair before the crash, and that secret is tearing him apart. In her confusion and rebellion, Clara starts sneaking around to see Miller. He becomes her escape from everything: grief, loneliness, and her mother's distance. But one night, when Morgan discovers them together, all the emotions finally explode. The truth starts to unravel. Morgan finds out Jonah knew about the affair. Clara overhears fragments of conversations she was never meant to hear. The lies collapse one by one, and mother and daughter are left facing the raw truth. Chris cheated. Jenny betrayed them both. And the car crash that ended their lives wasn't just tragic. It was tainted by deceit. For a while, the grief turns into silence. Morgan and Clara stop speaking. Their home becomes a battlefield of unspoken words. But slowly, as weeks pass, the anger begins to soften. Clara begins to see her mother, really see her, not just as a rule maker, but as a woman who lost everything. And Morgan, watching her daughter grow, realizes she's been living in regret for too long, regretting the life she didn't live, the dreams she gave up, and the voice she buried to keep peace. When Jonah finally confesses his guilt and apologizes, Morgan forgives him. The two of them find comfort in each other, not in romance, but in shared loss and understanding. Clara forgives her mother too, learning that forgiveness isn't weakness, it's freedom. And in the quiet aftermath, mother and daughter rebuild what was broken together. By the final pages, Regretting You isn't just about betrayal. It's about rediscovering yourself after the world ends. About learning that pain doesn't define you, it shapes you. Colleen Hoover doesn't give us a fairy tale ending. She gives us something more real. Two women standing in the ruins of what was, finally brave enough to start again. Because sometimes, the only way to stop regretting your past is to start forgiving your future.
If you made it to the end of this video, why don't you like and subscribe for more awesome books like this?